we've been given a sequence of numbers, and every term after the first is made by tripling the term before it and then subtracting 2. For example, if the first term were, say, 4, to get the second term, we would triple the first term, and then we'd remove 2. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, and subtracting 2 gives us 10. That's essentially what the language means. Now, we've been told that the third term is 55, and we want to know what is the value of the first term in the sequence. I think there's really 2 ways you could go about solving this problem. One fairly straightforward way would be work backwards off the answers. Look, anytime the answers are simple, basic whole numbers, working off the answers may well be a very smart way to go about solving the problem. For example, one way you could attack this problem is to assume for a moment that 5 is the correct choice and to see whether everything works out. So let's do that. Let's say the first term in the sequence is 5. If we triple that, we get 15, and if we remove 2, we're down to 13. That's the second term in the sequence. If we triple that, well, 13 times 3 is 39. And if we remove 2, we get 37. That would be the third term in the sequence. Of course, we know that the third term of the sequence is 55 because that's told to us in the problem. And what this is showing us is that the correct answer is not 5. 5 cannot be the first term in the sequence. Now, what you should realize at this point, the downside of this strategy, it's slow. We may well have to work through 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 to see which one is correct, and we can burn a lot of time doing that. So what I want to do here, let me give you a better, faster, smarter way to do this. The truth of the matter is we don't know what the first term of the sequence is, right? In math, anytime you don't know the value of something, you label it x. Let's call the first term in the sequence x. Well, the second term we would form by tripling the x and then subtracting 2. In other words, the second term in the sequence is 3x minus 2. And the third term would be formed by tripling that and then removing 2. Now, further recall, the third term equals 55. So this 3 times the 3x minus 2, that equals 55. And that gives us an equation we can use to solve for x. Let's do that. Let's add 2 to both sides. Let's distribute the 3. 3 times 3x is 9x, and 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Hey, next let's add 6 to both sides. And finally, let's divide both sides by 9, and what we can see is x is 7. And remember, what does x represent? X is the first term in the sequence, and that's what the question is asking for. And that's the fastest, easiest way to know here that 7 is the correct answer.